Hey y'all! I know I am about a minute or so early, and that is because I wanted to make sure that my live was going to work today, because it didn't work on Tuesday when I tried on Tuesday, and it looks like it's working. It hasn't cut me off yet, so I am going to share this in my Becoming Unlimited Facebook group real quick. And I am super excited to be here at this new time of the Daily Drive. We're now going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I had to flip my mind about that, because normally when I would turn on the Daily Drive, I would say, good morning, because it would be in the morning, and so I had to think real hard about that just now when I hit the live button. So anyway, here we are, 3 o'clock. Welcome to the Daily Drive. Thank you for being here. If you are new to the Daily Drive, if you are new to my social media, if you're like, why do I even come and talk live? That's what we're going to talk about today. The Daily Drive is a worksheet that I created to use for myself when I started to understand how to be in control of my mind while living with anxiety. I learned some things throughout a pretty intense growth journey that I've been on for a couple of years now, created the Daily Drive, found out that my purpose in life is to speak openly, publicly, and vulnerably about anxiety and mental health, and shared it with some people, and here we are. So I wanted to give you just kind of a little bit of a background about me, my anxiety story. It's been a while since I've just kind of filled you in on my anxiety story, why I do this, like what is anxiety. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit of my background, because it's been a while. I started experiencing a serious amount of anxiety symptoms to the point where I was having back pain, chest pain, couldn't breathe, and took myself to the emergency room in 2010. I had no idea at that point that it was anxiety. I just was having back pain, I was having chest pain, I was just not feeling well, and chest pain, you don't really mess around with that, and shortness of breath and all of that. So I went to the emergency room, and in the emergency room, they told me that it was anxiety. I was having, some intense anxiety and panic attacks, and they, helped me ease the anxiety in that moment, in that emergency moment, so that I could get the pain to go away some. But they said, you need to go talk to your primary care doctor. So I went to my primary care doctor, and now this was in 2010. And before that, I didn't give anxiety a second thought. I had no idea what that was, what the symptoms were, that the things that I was experiencing were related to anxiety. I didn't know anything about it. Really, I didn't know much about mental health other than what I had done in high school and a little bit of college and like psychology class and stuff. This was even before I worked in mental health related jobs. So in 2010, after I went to the emergency room for the back pain and the chest pain and the shortness of breath, I went to my primary care doctor, and the primary care doctor that I saw at that time, I guess wasn't really educated about anxiety, and really just handed me a bag of prescription medication sample packs that were all different kinds, all different doses, and told me to figure out which one worked for me. And I was like, I don't think that's how this works. I don't think that's how you do that. So I went to a different doctor and got a second opinion, and got on the medication that I'm on now. I take 60 milligrams of Cymbalta every single day. I went through about 3 or 4 different medications before understanding that Cymbalta is what worked for me. So if you're in the process of figuring out what medication works for you, just be as patient as you can with that. You will figure it out. You might experience some side effects that make you not want to take other medications, but when you figure out the one that works for you, it really does make a difference in your life. If you want to take medication. If you don't, there's ways to take care of anxiety too. I'm not yet mentally strong enough for that, so I take my 60 milligrams of Cymbalta every single day, and I want you to do whatever works for you. And so I was officially diagnosed with anxiety in 2010. Now in 2010, I no idea what anxiety was. All I knew was that I had pain and, had all of these feelings and went to the emergency room, and now I'm on medication. That's all I knew about it. I didn't know that there were more things that I could do, and I lived in a lot of darkness for a long time. Of anxiety, depression often comes with that, and it just was a low time in my life for a little while, going through that anxiety stuff. And in about 2018, so for a long time after that diagnosis in 2010, I lived in that darkness. And around 2018, I was a part of a team that encouraged all of us to just go on a personal growth journey. I had no idea what personal development meant, what things I would connect with, but at the encouragement of that team, I went on that personal growth journey. I found personal development things that work for me. I'm obsessed with Mel Robbins, with John Maxwell, with finding new ways of thinking. And so I just started that growth journey that I've been on. It's not ending for me. I'm not ending a growth journey. I am growing continually. So that growth journey started pretty intensely in 2018, and I still do things daily to grow and to continue to grow. And so from 2010, when I was diagnosed officially with anxiety, to 2018, when I started to understand what I could do to be in control of my mind, to now, it has still been a journey of ups and downs. Mental health is an up and down roller coaster of life. You can think you have it all in control, and then the universe is going to let you know who's really in charge, right? But it's an up and down journey. Growth is an up and down journey. I've cried, I've laughed, I have found things that I love, I've found things that inspire me, I have learned what my purpose in life is, I have learned to understand things differently and better for myself. And like I said, that is why the Daily Drive videos and worksheet were created. Because when I started on this personal growth journey, when I started to get to the bottom of what anxiety meant, Mel Robbins is great for anxiety. Her YouTube channel is amazing. She really helped open my eyes to a lot of different things. You can be in control of your mind and live a happy, productive life while you have anxiety. You can learn to flip the switch. And so as I was learning the things that help you be in control of your mind, I realized that there were some things that you could do every day to kind of set yourself up for success, to give you a map to push you through the day. And so that's why I created the Daily Drive worksheet, because I found that when you're thinking intentionally, when you are telling your mind what to think, when you are setting intentions for the day, when you are giving yourself specific thoughts, you can have something to come back to when your mind starts to wander, right? I give myself intentional thoughts every single day because I know my mind's going to wander. And when I realize that my mind is on something I don't want it to be on, I come back to my intentional thoughts. I also realized that when you are working towards things that you want in your life, sometimes, especially when you have anxiety, thinking of your goal in the big picture sense can be overwhelming and stressful. And so I learned that small step daily goal setting was easier for me with anxiety to push me through versus trying to think about everything all at once. My purpose in life is to do this: speak openly, publicly, and vulnerably about anxiety. I want to give a TED Talk. I want to be a public speaker. I want to write. I want, all of the things like Mel Robbins, right? All of the things. I want to do that. And as a whole big picture, that's kind of overwhelming. But when I take that and break it down into smaller things, break it down into daily goals, what can I do today that's going to get me closer to my goal? Give that a small step goal that you'll get done today. It really helps me get those goals done. And then of course, gratitude, because gratitude, when you think about gratitude, when you do a gratitude practice, when you elicit the emotions of gratitude, you are releasing the same hormones into your body that are associated with the feelings of joy, the feelings of bliss, and the feelings of calm. So you can intentionally change the chemicals in your body by practicing gratitude often. Gratitude is my number one go-to when I feel my mind wandering, when I realize that I'm thinking about something. I come to gratitude to get it back in control. So that's why the daily drive was created. And when I shared it with some people, when I spoke about what anxiety has done in my life and how I am staying in control, it really just helped me to understand that I want to open up the world of mental health and help people be in control, because you can be in control even when you feel like you're out of control because of your anxiety. So I wanted to start today with just a little bit of my kind of background anxiety wise, so that you know that I'm right there with you. I'm not just giving you information that I have, read or whatever. I am right there with you, giving you information that I've tried and that has helped, or, that I've tried and maybe hasn't helped, but maybe it'll help you or whatever. I'm right there with you. And so the thing that I actually want to talk about today is something that I heard while I was watching TV. When I have my alone time in the afternoons, when I get off work, before my husband gets off work, I turn on the shows that I want to watch, right? Because I can't watch what I want to watch when he's at home and we don't want to watch the same thing, right? So I turn on documentaries, Scientology. Recently, I was watching ghost shows, the like ghost hunter shows where they go into some haunted place and you hear all of these things happening and whatever. I was watching these ghost shows, and the particular one that I was watching has, psychics and mediums and witches and all of these people from all of these different kind of spiritual backgrounds to go, find the spirits that they're going to talk to. And so I was watching this one episode, and one of the rituals that they did before going into the house was a ritual where they got down on the ground and had some things that they had brought with them, like lavender and things that are going to help the earth. And as part of this ritual, the thing that they were saying was, I give back to thee, I do not take. I give back to thee, I do not take. And for some reason, when I heard that, it just had my mind swirling about all of this stuff. And it had me thinking about two things specifically. I give back to thee, I do not take. The first thing that had me thinking about was that it is our divine purpose given to us by the universe to live in whatever energy is there for us. We all have a predetermined purpose, whatever spiritual background you believe in. We all have a predetermined purpose given to us by the universe. There is abundance out there for all of us to tune into, to create. And when you give back to the universe, when you give back to your purpose, you start to get things, coming back to you. And now what do I mean by this? Give back to your universe, or give back to the universe and give back to your purpose. I make it a specific point every day to live within the energy of my purpose somehow. And through this growth journey, I have come to the understanding that my purpose in life, again, is to speak about anxiety, to share information about mental health. And so I make it a point to live in the energy of that purpose every single day, some type of way. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's doing the daily drive. On Mondays, it's welcoming new people to my Becoming Unlimited Facebook group. On Sundays, it is taking a Sabbath day and letting people know that that's my day of rest. I do something every day to give to my purpose, to give back to the universe. I am a Girl Scout at heart. Y'all know that. And so we strive to leave places better than we found them. I pick up trash. I don't pick live plants off trees. If, I see a pretty flower, like that's that tree, that's that thing, and I give back to that purpose every single day in some type of way. So make sure that you are giving back to the universe and giving back to the energy of your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, I strongly recommend starting your own growth journey. The things that I did were just journaling to become aware of my thoughts, just dumping out whatever was in my mind, or looking up specific journal prompts, whatever, becoming aware of my thoughts, and then seeking out the information to change those thought patterns. Most of the time I was listening to Mel Robbins or listening to an audiobook or, whatever it was that I could find. And that's how I discovered that purpose. And just trying things, just seeing what I like and what gives me energy. I could be about to fall asleep on the couch when my alarm for the daily drive goes off, and just coming in here writing down my notes gets my energy flowing again. So I give back to I do not take. Give back to the universe and your purpose often. The second thing that had me thinking about was giving back to yourself. I give back to I do not take. How much do we take away from ourselves? How much do we say yes when we should say no? How much do we play through the pain? How much do we go to work on 2 hours of sleep? How much do we take away from ourselves, right? So it had me thinking about giving back to yourself. And I don't just mean self-care. I don't just mean like take a bath. I mean understanding that it's okay to rest. If you are tired, rest. That is your body's way of telling you that, hey, you need that rest. If you are tired, rest. Give yourself grace. Allow grace. We're all human. Things are going to happen. You can have your life planned out to the T, but the universe is the one that's in control, right? So you never know what's going to happen. Allow yourself grace. This has been a time of learning for me right now as I'm in school again and going back to work again. And so I'm allowing myself a lot of grace. I haven't gone to the gym in a couple weeks. I haven't really been eating the greatest. I haven't been sleeping that well. And I'm just allowing myself grace and the time to rest. And then, self-care. Give back to yourself in those things that you love doing. Give back to yourself in enjoying your coffee while it's hot. Give back to yourself in stopping and reading a book on Sunday afternoon instead of doing all the other crazy things you do. Give back to yourself when you can. Know that you're allowed to rest. You're allowed to give yourself grace. You're allowed to practice self-care. I give back to I do not take. Those two things, giving back to the universe and your purpose, and giving back to yourself, making sure that you are playing from a full deck, those two things are going to propel you through life. And you're going to start seeing the things that you want coming back to you because you are giving back. When you are focused on what you can put out, what good you can put out, what positive energy you can put out, what you can give back to the universe and what you can give back to yourself, when you're focused on those things, on giving back, everything else will start to fall in line and things will start to come back to you. It's how the universe works. I have experienced it, and every single time I slip into that mindset funk, I come out of it remembering I know that this is how this is going to go. When I focus on the right thing, I am pushing. When I'm not focused on the right thing, I'm depressed and I'm not getting what I want. Because that's how the universe works. When you're focused on what you can put out, what you can give, you will get back. I give back to thee, I do not take. So it's twofold. I give back to thee, and also I do not take. Don't take away from your purpose. Don't take away from what the universe has planned for you. Don't minimize something that gives you energy and makes you excited. Don't look at yourself in a different way because someone else is doing something, right? I do not take. Don't take away from yourself. Allow yourself to be filled as well. I give back to thee, I do not take. Give back to the universe and your purpose, and give back to yourself, and do not take away from those things. And things will start to fall in line for you and come back in abundance. In abundance. I promise. And you can say that I promised you that. I want to know, just for the fun of it, where do you find inspiration? When you see something that sticks out to you, I have a little note in my phone of inspirational quotes that I like hear in a movie or a documentary or see somewhere. Where do you find inspiration? I find inspiration through growth, through understanding new ways of thinking, through allowing myself to change the way my mind thinks, because it opens up new things. And then I see inspiration in other places. I see things differently than I did before. So where do you find inspiration? I just want to know. That's just something I want to know for the fun of it. But y'all, remember, stop taking away from yourself and from your purpose and start giving to that. Start giving back to the universe and start giving back to yourself. Things will come back to you in turn when you are focused on forward moving and what you can give to your purpose. I give back to thee, I do not take. I love y'all so much. I'm so glad to be back to doing the daily drive. I've got a lot of stuff that we're going to be getting into. And so I am super thankful for my community. And my community, y'all, to me is like everybody that I know. Whether you watch, whether you don't watch, whether you interact or don't interact, whether I know you in real life, whether we're friends, family, Facebook friends, whatever, you're all part of my community, and I am grateful that you are all part of my life. And so you go in the joy jar. Do me a favor and check out dailydrivecoaching.com. Scroll down to the bottom, put your email address in. You will get content from me to your email as I am updating my website. If you are not part of my Becoming Unlimited Facebook group, you can let me know, or it's tagged here in this video, or you can just search Becoming Unlimited on Facebook. That is just a Facebook group where you get these daily drives, a little bit more content about unlimiting your thoughts, and speaking of community, a community of support so that you know you're not on your mental health journey alone. We are all in it together. That's Becoming Unlimited on Facebook. If you are watching Daily Drive Coaching on YouTube, I love you. Do me a favor and hit subscribe. Turn on notifications. Turn on notifications for all of my social media, because I will never ask for a fee for what I do here on social media. I just ask that you help me continue to spread mental health awareness and break the stigmas around mental health by subscribing, turning on notifications, tagging a friend, sharing a video, commenting, engaging with me, doing all of those social media things. It helps me more than you know, and I love you for it. I love y'all so much, and again, I am so glad to be back. Remember, I give back to thee, I do not take. What can you give back to the universe? What can you give back to your purpose? What can you give back to yourself? And what can you stop taking away? I love y'all. It's good to be back. I will see you soon.